Hello, hello, hello. This is Remove Logic, and I am your host, Karen Ray Lacey. We are here for another power packed episode of Remove Logic. Why remove logic? Because God is not bound by logic or logistics, and we believe that He is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you ask, think, or even imagine. I am so excited about tonight's episode of Remove Logic, as we're going to be interviewing the producers and the cast of The Laksman. And when I tell you the opportunity came to me for this, I quickly said yes, but I cannot wait for you guys to meet the producers. Let's learn about The Laksman, what The Laksman is, and then when it's going to hit screens on Amazon Prime. I'm going to pop everybody in, so get ready for a power-packed episode of Remove Logic where we're stepping inside the Laxman, a story rooted in betrayal, stolen land, and a blood curse that refuses to be forgotten. I'm sitting down again with the producers and the cast to uncover the story behind the story. There you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for extending the Laxman to the Remove Logic community. We air on Facebook radio network as well as the Lit TV network, and we go to 65 countries in 1 hour. So we're going to get in everything that we need to get in and share who you are, what the Laxman is with the Remove Logic community. Are you guys ready to hang
Oh, yeah.
out? All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I want to talk to you guys. I just have a question. First of all, Keith Johnson and Cornelius Polk are the producers of The Laxman. What is The Laxman?
So the Laksman, it's a South African term. It comes from the term of executioner or the hangman. So the story kind of formatted from a little bit of a hidden history in Louisiana, but we actually put a little spin on it. So it takes place from a slave that's been freed, and he's been appointed as an executioner, a public executioner. And with that came with money, it came with land, and it came with, of course, the power to execute any type of physical harm, whether it be death or torture, whatever it is. He actually is the one that did that. And it actually came about to where a family that he did have to do a punishment to wasn't too far liking of that, and they actually ended up killing him and stealing his land, and we put a spin on it too as well. So then we have the Laxman.
Okay. Now tell me what drew you to this story. Why a horror story?
I'll let you, Keith. You take that away, Keith.
Well, of course, I do like horror, and when I first started writing the story, I looked at it as an outdoor haunted house,
Okay.
and it was very interesting. I had visited a outdoor haunted house on the west side of Fort Worth probably 15 years ago, and it was just so appealing to me that I needed to write something in that genre. And so
Okay.
as I started writing it, it just started evolving, and it just went from there. But it's a great story. A lot of history, but you know, the he was executed himself for being a successful free man, and
Mhm.
he ended up losing his life, and that's where we came up with the descendants being punished.
Okay. Now I want to give a shout out to Fort Worth, Texas, because of course, Remove Logic goes to other countries, and we need to say exactly where you guys are. It's my hometown, which makes me even more excited to share this moment with you guys and let everybody know that we are talking about Fort Worth, Texas. And you guys are actually probably putting it on the map with this horror film. Now, what makes your horror film different from any other horror film?
Well, I put it like this: for for starters with that, like I said, if it's for Texas, like you have that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you have, and it's also one of those things you want to get film. Let Texas know that we have a lot of things to offer, which is from the cast or being majority from Texas. Some get in Texas, just getting more notoriety, more awareness about Texas film. So that's one of the really the main things of it. And as far as just how we evolved, I mean, the story to how it came together from the crew, the cast, like a lot of it, like I said, majority is from Texas. It's a Texas thing. We want to make sure that everybody knows it's from Texas. That it's actors, it's crew, it's producers, it's a Texas thing.
All right. I love that. I love that. Now, Laksman, it's the executioner. And I want to ask you, what's being executed in this story? Is this justice or is this revenge? What is it?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think it's also one
Yeah.
of those that you're watching and you get to make your own interpretation of what you feel it is. But like I said, well, the point was for both. But you pick your side.
Okay. Okay, so we know that it touches on betrayal of stolen land and how much this is rooted in a real world history. Do you believe that places carry energy and memory like this as far as the past history of places?
Yes.
I
To me
believe
about
so. I would say that I think every place and every person, family, whether it's generational wise, it has something to that, and it's just one of those when you dig deep into your history or just history in general, and you find those little gems. It's one of those things you learn more and more every day. You learn more about that thing, and you just take an interest to it. So I think it's more relatable to where people can watch it and understand it, and also gives that nostalgic, the old time horror like the Halloween. It gives you that feel as well. So you get the old horror fanatics to the ones that like it currently, the one that like history, and it gets everybody involved and intrigued and interested into seeing what happens.
I agree. So, Keith, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like places carry that type of energy and the memory of past?
Yes, I do. I do, and
Mhm.
that was one reason why this story was written to showcase that. And I'm just happy that we have a chance, and we have some great actors that did a wonderful job with their performance, and we'll see what happens.
Cool. You do have some great actors. I've been getting to know everybody before we started the show, and I really want to dive into the actors. But I do have a question. You filmed this in Texas as well. You said in Springtown. Why that location?
Well, I would
I
say
want to.
this. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, we needed land, and it fit when I started writing the story. Again, like I said, a number of years ago, which is actually I would say I really started writing this story at least 2012. And I
Wow.
always had written out a diagram of what I always looked at this outdoor haunted house resembling. And when I came upon this property in Springtown, it fit the bill, and it was a perfect place to shoot. The people that own it did some improvements, and we were able to go out there and shoot 95% of the movie there. So it worked
Wow.
out perfect.
Wow. Okay,
When we tell you,
Cornelius.
Karen, when we
Mhm.
tell you, Karen, it was like the perfect location. Like we're talking about pure nighttime dark, like the long windy road to get to the location to where it opens up. It's no lights. It's just it gave you the perfect feel. So literally, when you're coming there on set, it's like wow, like this is. And you gotta be careful getting in and out, but you're driving up wondering like, what are you about to get into? So it gives it perfect feel. Plus,
Now,
we had a lot of actors do that come in there. They're like, "Oh my, where am I at?" Like, it's perfect.
I am a horror film girl. I love a good horror film. Did anything happen on set that you felt like was unexplainable? Any weird moments? Anybody?
Um, you might have let the actors, take that
Okay.
away.
Okay. Anybody, you guys can chime in. Did anybody have any unexplainable moments filming this horror movie? Nobody?
Nothing here.
Nothing unexplainable. However, there was a scene we were filming, and I was filming it with Chase, who is not here right now. But I had tripped and I fell, and we went to reset, and I just saw the crew watching me fall and rewinding it and watching it over and over again.
So you were in some type of loop.
Nothing like spooky or anything, but I remember thinking, because it's also cold. And I'm like, okay, like, when are we going to start again? And I see what they're doing, and they're just watching me fall on the camera over and over again.
So this is a perfect segue for us to meet the actors of the Laksman, and I am excited about meeting each and every one of you guys. So what I'm going to do, we'll introduce you, and then we'll ask questions and just let you guys share your experiences in filming this movie. So first we have Derek West. Derek, your role is who?
Laksman. And
all right.
right.
Derek is the Laksman. And then we have Stacy Rowe Jones, and her role is Betty Ray. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
And McKenna Curtis, your role is Katie. And Wes Gillum. Hey, Wes. There he is. Hey. Your role was Ray. And then there's Kevin on here. And then Morgan, is it Brielle? Hey, Morgan, your role was Lorianne. And then Pierce Polomsky, your role was Matt. Hey, Pierce.
Hello.
Now, you guys, a horror movie. Who on here, as far as the cast, is a horror movie person? Were all of you? Let me ask. Now, Derek, you're the Laksman. I have to go with you first.
Right.
What did you do to prepare for this character or this role?
So preparation, it was different. Like it changed throughout the film, right? Because initially I didn't audition for the Laksman, and then Cornelia was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be Laksman." So, like he just said, like you're thinking about the movie and everything you can do that's different. Because I read the script, right? But riding the set was so weird because it's a bunch of nothing, and then you turn a right and it's something, like your trailer and things like that. But yeah, to prepare for it, it was just like, have a negative mindset of everything you do, things of that nature. So it wasn't nothing too crazy.
Not going out and just checking out or splashing and all of this. Okay. All right.
We need to check in, Karen. You need to check in, not check out.
Right.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. So now tell me, what was the hardest part for you in this role, Derek?
It wasn't anything necessarily like hard, right? But I did learn a lot from the cast, and I've done a lot of acting throughout my career, right? But just not getting along with them initially, right? And then when they start talking, I'm like, "Oh, I love you. You're so awesome." So it was just like learning to turn it on and turn it off.
Got you.
Thing.
Got you. Yeah, when you got to take out the people that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Stacy, your role. Tell me about your character, and can you relate to her in any kind of way?
To a degree, I can relate to her.
Okay. Tell me about her.
She is mean, and she cares for nobody but the almighty dollar. And she will do whatever needs to be done in order to achieve that. So Betty Ray is a force to reckon with. And it's crazy. And preparing for it, oh my gosh, I would take her accent and just walk around, go to town, go get my groceries. And it's like, what are you looking at? With her mentality. And I get people like, I'm like, okay, no. I'm Sybil today. Okay. But it was fun, and I enjoyed playing her.
You
It,
did.
it was a true test to be her.
Okay. Just a nasty woman.
Yeah.
Okay, Pierce, I'm going with you next. Tell me about your character and what you had to do to get into your role.
Yeah, so a little bit of a different story. When I first came in and auditioned, I auditioned for a different part, and my first callback was for a different part. And then at the callback, they were like, "We're gonna have you audition for this character," and there wasn't quite like a character breakdown that I got to see, or a lot of times when we audition, we get a breakdown of the character, but this time I didn't, because it was, in the moment, and they were like, we're going to have you read for this. So I read for that, and then I ended up getting that character, but it was kind of unique because it kind of just got to be an extension of me. I didn't get anything to quite, these are the character traits that you have to hit. And in the narrative of the story, he doesn't have anything that's hard to grasp for a teenager that likes to hang out with his friends.
Okay.
So I really didn't have to do it was the getting in character was just becoming friends with the other cast members, which was
Okay.
really easy, and we all became friends really quickly. So it was pretty easy. It was a great process, and it was really fun.
Now it says here that you were an annoying little brother. So was it easy for you to go into this space in real life? Are you an annoying little brother?
Well, me and Chase, who is not here today, kind of had a brother who I was already going to message Cornelius about not being here today. Is not so we had a very brotherly relationship
Okay.
on set as well. So
Okay.
I would say it clicked pretty naturally before it maybe even clicked in the film. And then it probably read even more just because
Just
of that.
translated over.
Yeah.
It was healthy. It was healthy, Karen. It was healthy. We sometimes
healthy.
come on and say, like, look at Pierce and look at Chase. It's like, okay, what's going on? What did I miss? What happened? And they're just,
Okay.
it was fun. They had their moments. It was fun though. Like I said, it was healthy competition, a healthy relationship.
One thing I can say that, I'm just meeting all of you guys, but I can just see the love and adoration and the camaraderie already. So I know that the film is just going to be amazing, but you guys are exuding so much love just in the one episode. I'm loving it. So now, McKenna, let's talk to you about your character and how could you relate to your character?
Well, let's see. So Katie is, out of all her friends, she's definitely the realist. She's the grounded one. She's the voice of reason. And as a result, I think she's the least liked among her friends. But I mean, that really couldn't have been any less true for, the people that are playing these characters. I felt very much like a fish out of water, considering this was my first film that's really like become something big. I'm actually a theater actress at heart. I perform on the stage more regularly than I appear in film. And it's really amazing because during COVID, I started sending in auditions for films because I was like, well, theater's not happening right now. I might as well try my hand in film. Cornelius saw my audition that I submitted for him. Worked with him on that. It was a very short thing. And for like the next few years, he would hit me up like once a year and ask, hey, would you still be interested in working with us on this one thing, when it gets off the ground? And every year I'd say, yeah, just let me know. And then finally I get a text from him and he goes, hey, it's happening. And I'm like, again, let me know when and where. I'm ready. But I really appreciate him, and I appreciate Keith for taking a chance on this theater girl to be a leading role in one of their films. I mean, that it was a huge honor, and it was a really, really cool experience with a lot of really, really cool people. I think I learned a lot from everyone here and from people who aren't even on this call. Preparing for Katie, honestly, it wasn't as difficult as I imagined it might be, because I think Katie would be me if I were in a horror movie. Like, she'd be the one saying, no, don't go run off alone in the woods. It's a bad idea. But all that being said, all in all, it was a wonderful experience, and it was so much fun.
Like I said, McKenna, Karen, like I said, she was with us for a while, and it's like we just saw something in her. The same thing with Pierce. Like, everybody here had a character that we saw, like, and we just said, you know what, Keith and I were like, you know, we have to get this. We have to put them together. Like, we have to see what kind of, you know, magic we can get from having them all together. So everybody had a special something that we saw that, like, you know what, this can work. We just gotta keep everything together, keep everything going, flowing, and this can work. So, like I said, all the way from Morgan to Wes, Stacy, like, it's, and, you know, Derek, like I said, Derek didn't audition for it, but we saw something in him too as well that said, hey, you know, this is perfect for him. We need him to do this. Let's pitch this to him, and everything worked out.
So all the way from the inception of this, you said, Keith, you have been working on this since 2012. When did you guys start casting?
Cornelius, you probably can answer that better. It was last year in 2025.
Okay. Did you hear me, Cornelius? You said you started casting in 2025?
Yes. So what we did, like, it was done around, we did do a lot of video auditions, and then everyone that we saw that we, you know, like, the one to see more of, then we did an actual in person. So got to see a good dose of what everybody could do on the screen, and then in person in front of us where the eyes are straight on you. You know?
Okay.
You can't run.
Now, Wes, I'm coming your way. Tell me about your character, what you liked about your character. Were you relatable to it at all? Tell me about your character.
Well, my character is Red, and he's no country boy. He's a little slow, but he's not dumb. And just preparing for this role, I had the opportunity to audition with Stacy, and we got to work with each other before the movie even started, and just wonderful talent there. And then meeting up with everybody else on the crew, just learning something from them, teaching them something, and combining, and there's just so many things, and even stuff.
Are you guys still there?
You got me? And Derek, one time we had a little fight scene, and we're doing the choreography for it and getting it set up. And I said, man, just go ahead and hit me, and, you know, let's make it real. And we finished the scene up, and I did a good roll through. But 2 days later, we're on set, and I said, man, my shoulders hurt, my chest is hurting me. Like, but it was funny. But we got as realistic as we could. But with my character Red, I kind of like the challenge it was behind it, because they let me work with it. The writer and the director let me run with it, and I got to actually be a little comic relief in this horror story, and that was a lot of fun, and just pleasure to work with everybody.
Yeah, you know, it says here that your character is very loyal and a trustworthy man, and when I tell you, that comes across right now, so I don't think you had to do much to get into character. So Morgan, hey Morgan, tell me about you and your character, Lorianne.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that Lorianne and I are very similar. I read the initial audition sides for this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's something I would say for sure. So I put it on tape, whatever. And as an actor, I think you learn to not keep checking to like see if you got a call back or like whatever. You're like, okay, I did it. I'm going to put it down and like not think about it. Well, it was on this casting site that I hadn't used before. And so I had been getting messages from Cornelius asking me if I could come to Dallas. I live in Austin. So he was like, can you come to this callback? And I didn't see it until the day before the callback at like 3 p.m. And there were like multiple messages like, oh, yes, absolutely. I'll be there. So I dropped everything and like made my way there and went in and did the read. But I completely flubbed a line every single time. Like I just missed that line and had to call for a line. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to get this. And so I get into this little room and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just... I don't know if they put me in the wrong place. Like, I think they were supposed to release me. And I was just sitting there for a while and everybody was like slowly leaving this room and other people were coming into this room. And there was like one other girl that was like who was like for Lorianne. And I was like, I think they just forgot to release me. Like, and I'm just sitting there being like, okay, I don't know. And we're like kind of talking, but kind of not talking. And like, I think all of us had a little bit of anxiety or something. And like Pierce comes in and he's like chatting and we're like, thank God there's someone here. So then they're like, okay, come back in. And turns out like it wasn't a mistake. So that's how I got the role of Lorianne. And I was so stoked about it. And it was so fun. And the first day of filming, we were all just kind of like not talking to each other. And we were standing in this line. And I was like, I wonder if Keith and Cornelius are like, oh, what did we do here? Like nobody's speaking to each other. There's like fruit around and nobody's touching it. And we're all just like, eh. And I had the flu.
Oh, wow.
So crazy thing. But ultimately, like the second day of filming, like Pierce was all chatty and everybody was gelling really well. But it was just like an initial story.
Now, what drew you to the role?
I love Halloween. I read the breakdown and I was like, this is perfect. I worked at a haunted forest when I was like 16. I loved being the scare actor. I was like the girl with the pigtails that would like hit the bunker and then scream in somebody's face and hope I didn't get punched. So I was like, oh, this is set in a haunted forest. This is perfect. And then I read the sides and like the first line that I said, I was like, oh yeah, like this is a feisty person. I'm like so into this. So yeah, that's what drew me to that. And then everybody was just so incredible. So
cool. Now, Stacey Rowe, I want to come back to you. Since your character was such a different person from you, what drew you to your role?
Okay, first I want to reverse back to Cornelius saying, oh yeah, we saw a little bit of that character in everybody. Really? Seriously?
You're such a nasty, mean woman.
I know. I'm like, wait.
There's some fire in you, Stacey. There's some fire in you.
Thank you.
But I was like, okay, I'm gonna let him talk. Okay, but I'm kind of okay. I'm so sorry. What was the question again?
No, I wanted to know what drew you to this role.
Well, I love a challenge,
and
I mean, I like playing outside of the box. And reading her, I'm like, oh yeah. Every anxiety, anger, whatever I had pent up in me at that time, it's like, this is my release right here.
I love that. So you just had to channel back some anger, anxiety, some whatever. Just get it up.
It was fun. I mean, and you don't want to get stereotyped. And I mean, the more you put yourself out there, the more you learn, the more, you begin to accomplish your goals in this industry.
Okay. Now, Mr. Derek the Laksman, I'm coming back to you. Give me one sentence that would describe your character.
Payback. Yeah, payback all the way.
Payback.
Yep. From when I got fired and from when the stuff happened at the beginning. I don't want to disclose so much, but yeah, just revengeful, like very physical character.
Okay. All right. I like that. Now, I'm going to ask Pierce, what part of your character would people relate to?
I think one part of my character that was relatable was after you watch the film, you'll kind of realize that one of our main protagonists makes some selfish decisions. And
Okay.
I would say that my character is someone that was very vocal about disagreeing with some of the decisions that were made, because in a horror movie there's the trope of like there's the killer in the closet, so you're gonna go to the closet. Like it's just like there's the let me make this decision because it's a horror movie. That the writing in this movie was a lot better in that way, as in the decisions that you were like, why would you make that decision, were really rooted in the actual character and why the people were that way. But my character got specifically annoyed with some of those decisions, and I think he was vocal about them, and I think that would probably be relatable, especially because there's this one scene with me and Lorian, and I'm like, why are we even out here? I don't even want to be out here. This is all Chase's fault. Like, we're all it's all his fault. Why are we out here? So his name is Nick. I just think of him as Chase, but the character Nick, I'm like, why are we even out here? And I think that might be relatable because people are like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And I'm asking that question. It doesn't get answered though.
Yeah, I think in a horror movie, you always looking for the person to blame for it, where everything started. You always looking for that person. So yeah, I think that's relatable. McKenna, what about you?
We know who.
Go ahead,
we know
Cornelius.
Who we know who Pierce blames.
McKenna, what about you and your role? What's relatable to the audience?
I think Katie is a very relatable character to anyone who's considered the mom of the friend group. Because, yeah, she's here for a good time and she wants to have fun, but she also knows when something's wrong. And I think the difference between Pierce's character, Matt, calling out Chase's character, Nick, for when he makes certain decisions, is he's a lot more like, he matches that energy. He matches that angry energy. Whereas Katie is more like, okay, let's try and think about this for a second. Like, she's on a much lower scale.
Okay.
But I would very much describe Katie as the mom of the friend group. I think all the moms and dads of all their friend groups can very much relate to Katie.
That would probably be me. I would probably be Katie, trying to analyze and figure it out. And let's try this. Now, Keith, I have a question for you, Keith. What do you think people are more afraid of? What's chasing them or what they've done? In writing this movie, what direction were you going?
To me, definitely chasing. I feel that. Yes, I do.
Okay. I was just wondering, in a horror movie, it's always, I should have zigged when I zagged. I should have gone here. Or Pierce said, why are you going in this door? So, what did I do to cause this to come upon me? It probably would be me, Katie, the
Correct.
Katie person.
That's
so
correct.
now in a horror film, it's always, yes, we know there's the killer. But in this film, there's a truth behind the killer that sometimes we don't get. It's just, they just go to hacking and hear it. You get to the end and there it is. Is there a truth that we know that's playing out within the movie, or is it without giving up too much information?
Yes, there is. There is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to not give up too much information because inquiring minds want to know.
I understand.
We need to watch April 14th on Amazon. That's where you get to help you.
Okay. All right. I'll be there. I'll be there, and I'll be with the popcorn waiting. I'm telling you. Now, just in human nature, how often in life do we ignore signs or blank consequences? I'm going to go back to the writing. What's your mindset on that? Are we ignoring signs or we're looking for consequences?
Well, both really, but yes. But
Both.
consequences are definitely paramount.
They are. They
Yeah.
are. Laksman, what do you think about that in the character that you played?
It's definitely both. Yeah, consequences for sure for everything you do, which obviously happened, and then just it's uniquely written. I can tell you that much. I'm trying not to be like, oh, I'm giving out the whole movie, but yeah, it's a beautiful horror movie at that.
You know what? I'm excited because horror movies usually, they kind of are typical, as Pierce said. Go behind this door, you're gonna get that. And you just kind of know you're sitting there going, don't open that door, don't go here. But you guys are exciting me to get ready to see this movie just by you saying that it's beautifully written, and Pierce saying that it's not typical. There, you're able to ask the questions while even in the role, like, okay, let me challenge on this. So I'm excited about this, guys. I think you've done something. Now my question is, why are you not releasing in October? Why April?
It was the distribution company, unfortunately.
Okay.
And so, once we had a strong distribution company, our entertainment slash internet attorney slash producers rep, he has done business with these guys, the distribution company I'm referring to. And, he likes the way they do things. Like, they requested worldwide rights to this, which we did give them. So, it will be opening up in all the country. So that's great. But yes, it is because of the distribution company.
Okay. Do you guys have more projects on the horizon? I know you wrap this up and you're moving forward. Do you have other things you're working on?
Oh, well,
I've
we have
been
21
blessed
scripts.
to stay pretty.
What did you say, Wes?
I was just saying I've been blessed to keep pretty busy, and each project is a new adventure. But what's great is coming back to a project. Like with the Laksman, there's so much writing he could do to tell backstory, to tell future story, to tell middle story, to add to this story. I mean, it's infinite where he can take it. And that's what's cool about it, because as the poster says, blood never forgets. And I think it's pretty brilliant.
I love that. Okay, Keith, you heard that, right? Or is that where your mind is going?
Yeah.
Okay. I love that about you guys. This is the first time for Remove Logic to interview producers and a cast, but you guys are just so loving and kind. I can just see you working again on some kind of project here. So let me ask you this one other question before we get ready to wrap it up. For you, Pierce, what is it that you want to see this movie do other than gross? What's your idea of this movie and moving forward? What do you see your vision for this movie from your character?
Oh, well, I'll have to say you'll have to watch the movie for some of where my character may get to go. But
okay.
I think
see, I'm asking all the right questions and I don't even know it. I love it.
Right. So there might be some, we might have to circle back after a watch for that. But
I love it.
For any of a cast and for any actor, obviously I think stuff like this is what is really special. A lot of times you shoot and forget, and you really never get, even with auditions, you film your auditions, you have to forget about them forever. You do little projects or even bigger projects, and you never even see the fruit of your labor. So I think with this, keeping the cast alive and together, I hope that's what happens. I hope we all stay in touch. Obviously, I hope it's a big hit. That's what any actor wants. That's what anybody in this industry wants. But other than that, I do hope that I think we made a lot of personal connections on this set that were I think, a lot deeper than a typical set relationship. I think we made a lot of, real friendships here. So I hope we all stay in touch. That's what I hope. And as for my character, you just watch the film.
We'll watch and see. I love it. This is just great because I'm asking things I don't even know about. But obviously, I'm putting push pins in every moment. So, yeah, we'll have to come back and do this again. Now, Keith.
I'd like to add something if I could.
No, go ahead.
One thing that brought this cast together was the filming environment. And we couldn't always go back to our holding areas where we had some heat and everything, but it was cold out there and it was freezing. And that winter breath just helped modify the movie itself. But when we'd be between takes and they're redoing cameras and whatever, we'd all be huddled around this heater thing on the outside. So we were all up close together. So we had nothing to do but chat with each other and get to know. And you do that for a week straight, and you make some good friendships, and you hope those friendships stay from here on forward.
I love that. I don't know much about movies. I don't know much about any of all that you guys have done, but when I tell you the camaraderie is there, and that's the part that's exciting. Now, what time of year did you film this? You said it was cold. Was this all in the winter? Your whole
January. Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing was January, February, and a little bit into March.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're walking around, Karen, and wonder if we still have feet and hands.
It was so cold. We had hand heaters in our shoes. Like it was
And it
pretty
didn't
brutal.
help because Pierce wasn't eating, so that wasn't helping either. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had the hand warmers, like you were saying, Pierce, tucked in every crack and crevice everywhere. And it was insanely cold and 55 plus mile per hour wind gust. And I believe it sleeted one night on us a little. And then
Oh my God.
yes, and then you're like, and then it's like, okay, action. Okay.
I remember we were filming one scene and Stacy had to be on the ground for it. And in between takes, we covered her with a blanket because she couldn't move. So,
Y'all covered me with a blanket at the end of it.
I was putting hand warmers on her face.
You
and on
did.
her chest. So she
You
would-
see, and in Texas, I don't want anything cold but sweet tea. I'm just not that cold. So you guys can have all of that and braving a Texas cold because we don't know anything about it. I know you guys know because you're Texans, but anything that's not 75 or greater, I'm not here for it. I'm not. So kudos to you for hanging out in the wintertime and filming. Definitely. Now, I'm going to come back to you, Keith. What is it that you want people to know about the Laksman before it makes its debut on April the 14th?
Truthfully, I think that this story is a lot different than a lot of horror films. I do believe that. Of course, I can't reveal too much, but that's important, which was why it was written the way I wrote it. But the exposure is what I'm hoping for with the actors. Even the exposure of the movie, and hopefully we'll have millions of people that will watch it around the world, and that all these actors can be seen and show the great performances that they did do, and they did great. You just heard us talk about the weather. It was extremely cold, 20s and 30s most of the time. So yes, that's what I'm looking for, the exposure for the actors and for the movie.
Yeah. Great dedication.
Yes,
Very.
Yes, they did a great job.
Yes. Now, Cornelius, what about you? What would you like for people to know about the Laksman before it airs?
I would say that more so that be ready for something a little different, but still gives you that same feel a little bit. Of course, Texas has talent, and like I said, I'm going to piggyback off of Keith as well. Just more exposure for everybody that worked hard on the set, came ready to work, like I said, at the Morgan, coming from Austin to come do this. Like, it's everybody that was on set came and gave their A game, and we all put forth the best effort to make sure this was a success. And here we are, April 14th.
I love it. I love that you said that everybody would get more exposure and that Texas has talent, because Texas is kind of away. Look, Atlanta, Hollywood, all those places, but Texas, I believe you guys are putting it on the map with this. And I am excited about the Laksman. Now, anybody else, if there's anything that you want to say before we wrap up, I'm going to start with you, Stacy. I love your expressions when I call your name.
Well, I want to say real quick, I hope people differentiate between fantasy and reality, because sometimes people say things in a production and it does not relate to who they are and they cannot self-identify with it. Okay. So yeah, because there was like a, oh, what do you want me to what, moment. We did it, but I mean the camaraderie. I love you guys, and I miss you all so very much. And I stalk y'all on Facebook, and I see that you're doing phenomenal, and I'm so happy for you. And I do hope that we get to work together again, and we can see where this one picked up.
Okay.
Off.
Okay.
Maybe.
Now, Morgan, I'm coming to you. Last words, anything that you would like to say about the Laksman and what your hopes are and expectation?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily have any expectations. I think that can get a little, like I try not to have too many expectations about anything. But I think it's really incredible that we were able to go to a showing of this. I think it was really incredible that like this is happening. Like we just get a text and Cornelius is like, yo, this is coming on, in April. And we're like, okay, awesome. Like, it's just so cool that like that's coming into fruition. I think it was Pierce earlier that was saying like, you just never know, like you may not even get to see things that you were in. And I think we all probably have a lot of those things where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to see that. Like you go and do your job and like, that's it. And you pretty much expect nothing from it. And like, this is just taken off, which is so, so exciting. And I just love the cast. Like everyone was such a close knit, like family. Like we were all giving each other a hard time lovingly. Like Cornelius talking about Pierce with his food stuff. I would like to say also, Pierce was eating that's it bars and tuna. Okay, balanced meal. So let's get that list.
I was cutting. I had a modeling gig. Like 2 weeks later. That's an important detail.
Okay.
Pierce stood up for himself. But yeah, no, it was just such a fun time, and like thank you all so much for like being so awesome, and for Keith and Cornelius for making this into what it's become, and for organizing everything, and for being so kind to me when I dropped a line in the audition. So just thank you to everybody, and thank you, Karen, for having us all here today. So.
You're so welcome. So welcome, McKenna. Your turn. We can't hear you. Are you muted?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm echoing everyone's sentiments here when I say I really think it would be a dream come true if this film was immortalized with all the great horror films out there like Scream. I think exactly. This is a great job. I think it's very individual and unique in its own way, but I also think it does a great job paying homage to all the classic horror movie tropes, which I love. So my dream is for that to happen. My dream is to work with all these people again. And like I said at the beginning of this interview, this is my first film that ever actually got off the ground. So
wow.
I'm very,
Wow.
very excited.
Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And last but not least, Derek the Laksman. Talk to me about your expectation of this movie. What do
Um,
you want? What would you want someone to know?
Everything about the movie. For one, like I said, it's a very beautifully written film. It's not only chasing; it's more than just chasing someone in a horror film, which it really showed. Stacy and Morgan, very tough women that made sure the context of the film stayed where it was, either getting thrown or just being roughened up a little bit. But y'all did amazing. And like I said, I worked on various levels in the film industry, and this was my favorite. No matter what, I still talk to Cornelius a lot, Stacy a lot. Like, you guys are amazing. So it's definitely one of my favorite films to be on, to be a part of, and my expectations is the ceiling because it's a DFW original horror film in this generation,
Yes.
the very
Yes.
first one. So
Yes.
give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody did well, and we're gonna shoot for the stars for real.
All right. I love it. Hometown, homegrown. Everybody is from not from Fort Worth, but a Fort Worth based film. I'm gonna say that because I don't want to pigeonhole anybody that I don't know. I'm a native Fort Worth and born and raised, so you get my vote. And I'm gonna push it as much as I can. And you always have a space right here on Remove Logic. Cornelius and Keith, I'm gonna give you guys the last word and we're going to wrap up.
I just want to say thank you all for coming on board today. Karen, thank you for hosting this, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yes.
I would
You're
say
welcome.
too, this is supporting indie films, supporting Derek coming here as the Locksman, as the man, and the supporting cast, and this cast in general. Like, everybody worked hard and support us. Just support us. April 14th, support us.
All right. All right. You heard it here. This has been an exclusive interview with the producers and cast of The Laksman, and it is releasing on April the 14th on Amazon Prime. Prime, save the date, put your date out there, and get the popcorn ready. I am excited about this horror movie. Beautifully written and beautifully played by this cast of characters. Thank you guys so much. Remove Logic. You will see us again next week, same place, same time. And save the date, April the 14th, Amazon Prime, The Laksman. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much for hanging out.
All right. Thank you.
Great seeing everybody.
Thank you all. God bless.